Olá, meus queridos, sejam todos
Hello,
muito
dear
bem-vindos a
friends,
este canal.
and welcome
Hoje
to
nós
this
trazemos
channel.
aqui tema
Today
muito
we're bringing a
importante para todas aquelas
topic
pessoas
that is
que
very
desejam ter uma
important
vida,
to all
que
those
desejam
who
ter
want to have a
segundo
life
a
according
vontade
to the
de
will
Deus.
of God.
O que é pecado?
What is
Ora, a
sin?
importância desse tema
Well, the
se
importance
justifica
of this
por algumas
theme is
razões.
justified by
Primeiro,
some
porque a maioria dos
reasons.
cristãos não
Firstly,
sabe com
because most
exatidão
Christians
o que é
don't know
pecado.
accurately what
Eles
sin
estão sempre à
is.
mercê
They're
dos
always at the
líderes
mercy of
religiosos,
religious
sempre
leaders,
perguntando para os
always
pastores
asking their
se fazer isso,
pastors
aquilo
if
é
doing
pecado,
that
se comer essa
or
comida,
this
beber
is a
aquela
sin,
bebida é
if drinking
pecado,
that
se
or
frequentar
this
este
is a
lugar ou
sin,
aquele
if
outro é
going to
pecado. Ou
places
seja,
is a
as pessoas
sin.
estão sempre
So
entregando as suas vidas
people are
à
always
condução de
surrendering
terceiro,
their
para que esses
lives
líderes
to
determinem
third
o modo
parties,
como o
so that
cristão
these
deve
third
viver.
parties determine the
Isso
way
tudo
that they
porque
should
elas não
live.
sabem com exatidão
And
o
that
que é
because they
pecado.
don't know
Daí
accurately
abre-se
what
uma
sin
grande
is.
lacuna quando não se
In
sabe
this
o que é
way,
pecado,
a big
para que os
gap
líderes
is opened
religiosos, e esta é a
for
segunda
religious
razão
leaders,
que
and this is the
justifica
second reason
esse
that
tema,
justifies this
abre-se uma
theme.
lacuna para que
A
esses
gap
líderes
is open for
possam
these
criar
leaders
todas as formas possíveis
to
de
create
pecado.
all sorts
Daí
of
nós encontrarmos grande número de
sins.
pecados culturais, de doutrinas
Thus,
de
we can
homens, de
find
usos,
all
costumes,
sorts of
de modo
cultural
que cada grupo
sins,
religioso, cada
so
denominação
as each
vai agora
religious group and
constituir o seu
denomination
próprio
will now
rol de pecado.
constitute their
Cada linha de
lists of
pensamento
sins.
teológico vai
Each
criando
line
agora o
of
seu próprio
theological
manual de conduta,
thinking
dizendo
will
o que é
create
e
a
o que
manual
não é
of
pecado.
conduct
Mas
saying
hoje
what is
eu
or
quero
what
convidar
is
você a me
not a
acompanhar
sin.
lendo a
So I
Escritura
invite you
para que
to
esse
follow
problema
me
seja
reading the
resolvido
scripture so
de uma
that
vez
this
por todas.
problem is
Venha
resolved
comigo e
once
à
for
luz da
all.
Escritura eu vou mostrar
Join me,
tudo
and in
isso
the light
para
of the
você.
scripture, I'll show
Esse
you
é o
all
seu
of
canal
this.
Que é
This is
Verdade.
your
Eu sou
What
Alexandre
is the Truth
Rodrigues
channel,
e
and I
quero
am Alexandre
mostrar
Rodrigues, a mere
eternamente
mortal
em busca
eternally in
da
search of the
verdade.
truth.
Chega deixando o seu like, se inscreva no
Like
nosso
this
canal,
video,
ative
subscribe
o
the
sininho das
channel,
notificações e deixe
activate the
abaixo
notifications, and leave your comments below.
Muito bem, queridos, o que é
Very well,
pecado?
friends, what is
Para
sin?
tanto, nós precisamos primeiramente
Therefore, we need
compreender
firstly
que a palavra
to
pecado,
comprehend
essa
that the
palavra
word
em língua
sin
portuguesa, conforme aparece
in
em todas as
English,
versões,
as we
traduções da
read
Bíblia,
in
língua
all
portuguesa,
translations
essa
of
palavra
the
é uma palavra
Bible,
vaga. Ou
this
seja,
word is a
todas as vezes que você se
vague
depara com a
word.
palavra pecado, você
Whenever
sabe
you
que
come
de
across
alguma
this
maneira
word,
está se
sin,
referindo a algum
you know that it
ato,
is
alguma
referring
atitude, algum
to an
procedimento
act,
que de alguma
to
maneira
a
fere a
procedure that
justiça de Deus
somehow
ou fere a
hurts
santidade de
the
Deus.
justice
Entretanto, essa
or
palavra
holiness of
não
God.
designa em si
However,
mesma o que
this
de
word does
fato
not
é
designate
pecado.
in itself
Por isso é que nós
what
precisamos
sin is.
resgatar a origem
That's
dessa
why we need to
palavra
rescue
lá
the
na
meaning
língua
of this
grega, a língua
word from the
original
Greek
em
language,
que
the
os
original
escritos dos
language in
textos
which the
apostólicos
apostolic
foram escritos, que nos
manuscripts
traz a
are written.
palavra hamartia.
And then we'll
A
have the
palavra
word
pecado em português
hamartia.
tem origem na
The
palavra
word
hamartia
sin
em
in
grego,
English
que
has
quer
its
dizer
origin in
literalmente
hamartia, which literally
errar o
means
alvo.
missing
E
the
logo de
target.
início nós já conseguimos resolver
And from the
a metade
beginning,
do problema.
we
Você
can
sabe que
resolve
toda
half
vez que
of the
você
problem. You
comete
know that
pecado,
each
é
time
porque
you
você
make a
cometeu
sin, it is
hamartia.
because
E
you
você sabe
committed
que todas as vezes que você
hamartia.
comete hamartia,
And
é
each
porque
time you
você
commit
errou o alvo
hamartia,
da
it is
sua
because you
existência.
miss the
A palavra
target of your
hamartia quer dizer
existence.
errar o
The
alvo.
hamartia
A
word
metáfora que nós
means
podemos
missing the
usar para melhor
target.
elucidar a questão é você
And the
pensar
metaphor
que
we can
Deus
use to
nos
better
criou
elucidate
como
the issue
bom flecheiro. Nós
is
somos,
think
por
that
lado,
God
o
created us
flecheiro,
as a good
mas por
archer.
outro nós somos a
On one side
flecha.
we are the
Ou seja,
archer,
nós
and on the
precisamos
other side we are the
projetar a nossa
arrow.
própria
So we need
existência
to
para o
project our
alvo
own
para o
existence
qual Deus nos
into
criou.
into
Ou
the
seja, Deus
target
criou o
to
homem,
which God created us.
para
God created us
determinado propósito. Deus
for a
criou o
certain
homem para
purpose.
atingir
God
um
created
determinado
man
fim. Quando
to a
nós lemos,
certain
portanto, no livro de
purpose.
Isaías,
When we
capítulo
read in
43,
Isaiah
versículo 7,
chapter
você
43
encontra
verse
com
7,
todas as letras
you
que
find
Deus
it
criou
explicitly
o homem
saying
para
that God
a
created
sua
man to
glória.
his
Ou
glory.
seja, o homem
That
precisa
is,
glorificar a Deus com a
man
sua
needs to
existência.
glorify
O homem
God
precisa
with his
glorificar a Deus com o seu
existence,
viver,
with
com as
his
suas
life,
atitudes, com o
with
seu
his
falar, com os seus
attitudes, with his
relacionamentos. E
speech, and with
somente
his
então, quando o homem
relationships.
glorifica
And so it's only when man glorifies God, it is that man is achieving the purpose of his life. And you may go, Pastor, I understand what you say, but the problem is still not solved. Because how do I know when I have not missed a target or when I have glorified or not God? Therefore, I need you to follow me in the book of John, chapter 15. I'll only read verses 8 and 12, which are enough for us to have the right comprehension of the idea. In this text, Jesus is going to compare himself to the vine and saying that we are the branches or extensions of the vine. So as the text is clear when it says that every branch that is connected to the vine needs to produce fruit. It is only when the branch produces fruits that it attains the reason for its existence. That's why we read in verse 8, "My Father is glorified by this, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples." So Jesus makes it clear that we, as branches of the vine, need to produce fruit. And when we produce the fruit, the Father is glorified. So the Father is glorified when we bear fruit. And when we bear fruit, we attain the reason for our existence. And maybe you might go, this is very clear, but I need to comprehend what fruit this is. And then we read verse 12. "This is my commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you." That is, love, and only love, is the fruit that is so desired by God from each of us. That is, it is only when man, moved by the love of God in his interior, like a branch connected to the vine, receiving all the sap and spirit and life from the vine, and now the very vine is manifested in the branch through the fruit, which is love. So that means that everything we say, everything we do, our life, our attitudes, our relationships, when they have their origin in love, in the love of God in our heart, then we have hit the target. You should always ask yourself if what you did, if what you said, if the way you proceed is an expression of the love of God. This is so clear in the entire scripture that even in the Old Testament that is formed by rudimentary books, you will see God saying, "You shall love God with all your soul, with all your understanding, and with all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself." So love, as Paul says in Romans 13, is the fulfillment of the law. When you love, you hit the climax, the pinnacle of all of what God has taught, that has been manifested, taught, and practiced by Jesus Christ. That is why John in his first epistle declares clearly that God is love. That's why when you read, for example, Matthew 25 verses 31 onward, when he says in that great judgment of the nations, and he looks to that group on his right and says, "Come, you who are blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world." And when they inquire why, Jesus is going to say, "Because you lived in a way that you helped and supplied the needs of all those small brothers of mine." That was all an expression of love. The love is a target of our existence. That's why Paul, in his great chapter 13 of 1 Corinthians, in that chapter on love, that's why he says, "But now faith, hope, and love remain." These three as the foundation of Christian life, but the greatest of these is love. Man has been created to love, and to manifest the love of God in his life and in his actions. When man so lives and proceeds, he hits the target of his existence and does not commit sin. He only commits sin when he acts and lives according to his own selfish desires that does not aim at the neighbor and the very fulfillment of the law of God, that is love. So I invite you to watch every week our videos here in the channel. See you next time.